You know, times are changing. My name is Brian McIntosh. This is the Daily Dose, and it's true. Times are changing. Think about how much has changed just in the last 6-7 years. I just rewind the clock 7 years. 7 years ago, did you have a Facebook account? Chances are, no. But do you have a Facebook account today? Oh yeah. And how much of your day do you spend on Facebook? Think about it. 7 years ago, did you have a smartphone? How much of your day do you spend tinkering on your smartphone now, and all those apps on there that you just can't live without? They didn't even exist 7 years ago. You didn't even have them. And what's amazing is, as rapidly as technology is changing, it'll change 10 times as fast over the next 6 or 7 years as it has over the last. And that's how quickly things are evolving. And with all this technology, with the smartphones and the Facebook, come all of the messaging apps, right? Skype and Facebook Messenger and text messaging and all of these other things, Yahoo Messenger and iChat and all these other things, right? And with all these new technologies, right, including Facebook, which allows you to keep up with people and share pictures, and it's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, it's wonderful, man. I would never want to go back to the days when we had to put a picture in a letter and lick it. You know what I mean? Now you just post it on Facebook, the whole world can hear it. It's like mailing it to 1,000 people. The point is that all of these technologies are wonderful. They're glorious. Now, there have been people who have developed very, very, finely honed skills at how to market using all of these digital technology and all these social media sites that are out there. But here's what's fascinating. 6 or 7 years ago, even 5 years ago, if you were the kind of person that knew how to use all this new messaging technology and all these new social media apps, and if you're the person that knew how to use all that to create marketing and get to thousands or tens of thousands of people, you had an edge over your competition. You had an edge over the guy that was still trying to knock on doors or go belly to belly or knee to knee to get business done. You had an edge. But what we've seen in the last few years is that because of all this technology and because of all of the digital access we have to information and people and communication and messaging and all of the rest of it, there has been an important and irreplaceable human skill that has been lost in just the last 5 years. And that human skill is communication. Person-to-person communication. Because what's interesting is, although digitally you can open the door for a business transaction, you can establish a connection that could potentially lead to a business transaction. You could, create a lot of connections or a very, very large network of people that would give you access to those with whom you could do business transactions. But the reality is that business itself, the actual transaction of business, the exchange of money for goods or services or whatever the case might be, or information or ideas or whatever the case might be, almost always has to happen as the result of a human interaction. A real, true-to-life human interaction, whether that's a phone call, whether it's a video chat, whether it's a face-to-face meeting. But we have begun in just the last 5 or 6 years to begin to underestimate the power of eye contact and a handshake. And what I'm going to let you know is that in today's world, in 2014, those that have retained the skills of human communication, the ability to look someone in the eye, shake their hand, make them feel good about a business transaction, now have a dramatic, unbelievable advantage over the pale, pasty, translucent skin, haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks, haven't gotten out from behind the computer screen, online marketers that are dominating cyberspace today. It's true. I work with so many different varieties of folks in the network marketing industry that are very, very good at what they do. But inevitably what I see is that the folks that are focused purely on digital marketing, in other words, they never get out from behind the computer, ever, they make tons of contacts. They have 5,000 Facebook friends, and they got, lists of all, and they got tons and tons and tons of contacts. And they are converting literally less than 1/100th of 1% of those to any actual business. And most of the time, those conversions either fall through, or they're terminated, or they're canceled because there's no relationship there. And so literally you can go through tens of thousands of people before you find one that sticks. Now, when I meet people who can use that digital technology to create large volumes of people that they can then use their people skills with to create relationships and create business transactions, those are the individuals that are having exploding successful businesses in my field. And I would guess it's probably the same for you. So here's what I'm going to let you know. There is no substitute for knowing your way around the digital world today. Understanding social media, understanding digital application, understanding digital communication, the messaging services and all those things, and knowing how to use them to create large volumes, to be able to make contact with seemingly endless volumes of people. But what will close business and create business transactions is good people skills and the ability to communicate with people and make them feel good about the transaction, to communicate trust and to communicate a genuine feeling of a win-win. In other words, a mutually beneficial relationship. And if you can do that now, if you can do both, you stand to master the marketing world in 2014. So here's my advice. If you're good at the online stuff, good for you. Teach it to your teams. Teach it to the folks that you work with. But get out from behind the computer and don't lose those important people skills that got you into this business in the first place. And that's the dose. Make it a great weekend, everyone.